Hello, Moodlings! My name is Dr. Nicole Lunan, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of MoodMe, a new app that allows you to share over 400 and plus moods, emotions, and desires with your lover, thus making communication simple, fun, and super easy. And welcome to another lesson brought to you by MoodMe. In the push-pull cycle, one person craves intimacy and the other actively avoids it. Essentially, one is the chaser and one is the runner. At first, both partners are connected, then suddenly a fear-based shift occurs within the avoidant. The avoider begins pulling off, shutting down. The motivation that was once there begins to fade as the partner's efforts begin to decrease incrementally over time. Or suddenly, the avoider or the runner may just ghost, break up, or disappear. This change in behavior can be shocking, thus leaving the person who had their heart open, vulnerable, and confused. The emotional exit of their avoidant partner leaves the other feeling abandoned, like the rug was pulled from underneath them. The panic of the avoidant partner running may cause the chaser to try harder, to put more effort in. It might activate the abandonment trauma that they experienced as a child. Come back to me, please don't leave me. Unfortunately, the runner views this as more pressure and more demands. The chaser could begin nagging or saying things repeatedly such as, I miss you, I wish we could spend more time together, you haven't been very present lately, let's plan a date. You're working again, you're playing video games again, you're hanging out with your friends again, you're going out again. The chaser will run circles around similar phrases or topics to try to get the runner to wake up and love them like they did not so long ago. The chaser may feel helpless, sad, and anxious as their energy becomes drained from ruminating on the fact that their partner isn't the same as they used to be. It's important to note the power dynamic of the runner and chaser. The runner has most of the power because they become a rare resource because they're scarce. Scarcity has a way of breeding more desire. As the chaser runs after the partner, they put themselves in a weaker position energetically. However, everybody has a breaking point, even the chaser. At some point, they will come to the conclusion that it's not worth chasing anymore. They'll become fed up and they'll regain their strength. Their self-esteem and self-worth will begin to awaken within them as they say to themselves, that's enough. I am worth more than this. I'm done chasing you. If you want to go, then just go. This gradual change within the chaser is noticed by the runner. Suddenly, the view of the relationship feels like less pressure, less demands, less scary, and more exciting. The runner stops in its tracks and looks around and sees a partner that is once again desirable. Unfortunately, the person that was chasing isn't as motivated to love the runner as much as they did before. They may have garnished resentment and distrust for having to be put through such a coercive cycle. Thus, the chaser and the runner changes positions and the power imbalance shifts. The push-pull dynamic isn't something that's done intentionally, although it can feel that way. It traps the relationship within a roller coaster feeling of unsettled emotions, almost like the two involved cannot find their middle ground and cannot meet in the middle and cannot overlap their feelings of love to establish balance. So, what can we do to stop this dynamic? The first step is awareness always. Once you're aware of the push-pull dynamic, you can catch yourself when you're either the chaser or the runner position. It's important to note that the problem is the cycle itself and not your partner. The push-pull dynamic is your enemy, not your partner. This enemy is impacting your relationship as a whole, not just you, not just your partner. If the push-pull dynamic was a game, your relationship moves, scattered across the chessboard. You have to ask yourself, is it worth continuing to play? The game stops when one person decides not to chase anymore, when the chaser decides to stand in their power, their self-worth, and love themselves, thus seeking validation within instead of without. When the chaser realizes that all the love they need in life exists within themselves. When they rediscover their footing and decide to set strong boundaries, such as, if you run again, I will not chase you. Instead, I will choose to love myself. When the fear of abandonment comes knocking, instead of avoiding that pain and asking another to fix it, they face it head on and are brave. The fear of abandonment isn't solely on another person abandoning you. It's also focused on you abandoning your inner child, essentially you abandoning yourself. If you find yourself often in the runner position, I have some questions for you. Why are you trying to avoid receiving love? Is it because you don't like being vulnerable? What does vulnerability mean to you? Is it something you look upon as being negative? Love and vulnerability go hand in hand. You cannot be in love without being vulnerable. The price we pay for love is maintaining an open heart and understanding that there's a possibility your heart might get broken. Maybe you believe that love isn't real. Your mind has grown cynical, therefore your cynical thoughts block you from receiving. You cannot feel with your minds, only your hearts can feel. Runners typically believe that if they give in to love, they'll lose themselves within the relationship. However, I'd like to counter that thought. If you give in to receiving love, is it possible that you will just reawaken? Instead of losing yourself, you will rediscover that part of your inner child that decided not to believe in love, that love was a trick. You'll awaken to the fact that what makes life worth living, that golden nugget that the universe has gifted us, is the very thing that you tried so hard to push away. It's love. If you're typically a runner, ask yourself how that has worked out for you in the past. How many opportunities to receive love have you turned away, and how did that ultimately work out for you? If you refuse to receive love, you may feel alone in the world. Therefore, there are people that want to give it to you, and you choose to live in loneliness because of fear. Ultimately, to completely end this cycle for both partners, they have to choose to meet each other in the middle, to be vulnerable at the same time. Both partners will have to honor each other's differences. The chaser and the runner have different needs. The chaser may need more reassurance, set plans, and consistency as far as spending quality time. The chaser may need a safe space to discuss their relationship fears without the runner taking them personally. The runner may need more time to breathe, peace and quiet, a day without contact here and there, so that they don't feel like they're losing their identity to the relationship. Managing relationship anxiety for both the runner and the chaser is important. It's important to accept that you actually have relationship anxiety. The runner is afraid of getting engulfed, and the chaser is afraid of being abandoned. If you're a chaser, you've got to find a way to calm your anxiety about losing your partner and being alone. This can be done by filling your life with healthy emotional outlets, such as activities that give you purpose and meaning, as well as having a healthy circle of friends and loved ones. If you're a runner, you can focus on letting go of your anxiety by working through your intimacy avoidance, by choosing small ways at first to lean into your partner rather than leaning out. If you have a bad day, lean into your partner and talk about it. If you're going through a really tough time, give your partner a chance to be there for you, and don't run at the first perceived rejection. For both the runner and the chaser, try not to test your partner. For example, if your partner doesn't answer the phone right now, it means they don't love you. Testing people typically fails miserably. It's possible that you may have to give them more than one chance to be there for you. Your partner isn't perfect and shouldn't be expected to be at the level of perfection at all times. Another way to manage your anxiety if you're the runner or the chaser is to always question your assumptions. Don't just assume that your partner doesn't want to spend time with you because they don't like you anymore. Ask questions, dig deeper. It's possible your partner just needs some time to focus on themselves right now. Don't just assume that your partner is asking about your day because they want to know where you've been, what you've done. Give them the benefit of doubt and ask why they're interested in your day. Not every action the runner does is meant to show you that they're going to walk out the door and never come back. Not every action your chaser does means that they're trying to suck your soul away and control you. Give them the benefit of doubt. Ask questions. Don't trust your dark stories. Lastly, make sure to share power over choices. Both partners should take turns calling the shots, and that includes creating a schedule for spending time with each other, alone time, and time with friends. For the runner and the chaser, it's helpful to create a solid schedule at the beginning of the week so there are no uncertainties on either side. So I will end this article with some questions or some food for thought. Do you experience this push-pull dynamic in your relationship? Who do you believe to be the runner, and who is the chaser? If you're the runner, why are you running? Are you afraid of losing your identity to the relationship? Are you afraid of being controlled, vulnerable? If you're the chaser, how does the fear of abandonment show up in your thoughts and actions? For both, have you been testing your partner's love for you instead of being direct about your needs? How can the benefit of doubt help you eliminate dark assumptions about your partner? Create a plan to stop the push and pull dynamic. What actions can you take to stop playing this game? All right, Moodlings, that's our video for today. If you like our videos, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And see you later, Moodlings.